What's up, people? It's Three Things with JR. I'm back. It's JR. It's almost 10 o'clock on Sunday night, February 6th, 2022. And I've got a bunch of things to tell you about tonight. And it's going to be multiple groups of three things. So there you go. So the first thing is not one of the things. It's just its own separate thing. Last week, I sort of teased the name that we came up with for the band. We used to be called Big, then we were called The Band Big, and we have a new name and a new website to go with it. It's all been updated. Thebandbig.com still works. You can still go there, but it will reflect the name of the new name of the band. And the new name of the band is also the same website. You can go to tobefair.com, and it will it'll be the same website as thebandbig.com. Now, To Be Fair is spelled Tobefare, because To Be Fair, Fair, would have cost us like $200,000 to get that URL. So we decided we probably weren't going to make that money back if we went that way. So we went with To Be Fair, Fare, instead. And we think it'll be easier to find us. Go to tobefair.com and check it out. We've got updated bios for the band, stories about how the songs have been created, links to where you can find To Be Fair's music. Even though it's all still Big or The Band Big, everywhere you're going to find the music, we are in the process of updating the songs and maybe in some cases re-recording them. We've got new songs, and we'll put all of that out and re-release the old stuff under the new band name, To Be Fair. F-A-R-E. To Be Fair. If you've seen the show Letterkenny, then hopefully you are chuckling just like I am inside at that phrase, because it cracks me up every time I say the words "To Be Fair." I just cannot help but singing it afterwards and celebrating. To be fair, to be fair. It's a thing on the show Letterkenny. So that's the inspiration for the name, and we think it's a good band name. So I guess the proof will be in the pudding if people can find our music and find our website and check it out. And we did have a band rehearsal today where we recorded a whole bunch of the stuff we've been working on for the past several rehearsals. We've been, like I said, we've been redoing some songs, and we've got some new songs, new versions of old songs, etc. And we recorded a bunch of it just so we don't forget it. We have a tendency in our older age, keep in mind I'm the young guy in the group at 47, we have a tendency to forget what we did in the last rehearsal and then have to kind of relearn it all over again in the next rehearsal. So we thought maybe we should record this, and maybe that'll make it easier to go back and listen to what we've done. And so we did that. And I'm actually going to take one of those songs and play it for you here at the end of this show. So if you want to listen to that, you have to do one of two things. Either listen to the entire show or fast forward to about 5 minutes before the end of the show on your podcast player if you just want to hear the song. But I suggest you listen to the whole show, because I've got a bunch of interesting stuff to talk about. So there you go. To Be Fair is the new name of the band, and tobefair.com, and it's F-A-R-E, To Be Fair. All right, I've got things I've been taking note of this last week that are happening in my life that I thought maybe you'll find it interesting. Maybe you're experiencing some of the same stuff. It's just kind of everyday stuff I thought you might like to hear about. For example, I am actually kind of excited about the fact that I now need reading glasses. What? Does that make any sense at all? Yeah, I'm at that age, and my eyesight has continued to get worse, where I kind of need reading glasses. I am nearsighted. I have been for years. I've been wearing either glasses or contacts since I was about 8 or 9, and I've never loved it. I never I never wanted to get the surgery. I've always was scared of the idea of an operation happening on my eyeball. I never liked that. But so that's why I went to contacts a while back. And I've noticed lately that, for one, you're supposed to get a new contact prescription like every year. I don't really do that. I buy enough contacts to make them last for 2 or 3 years. And when they finally start to run out, I go get a new prescription. And I got a bunch of contacts like a year ago, and I still got like a couple boxes left, but it's clear that the prescription I've been using for the past couple years is really not cutting it, especially, I mean, it works for far stuff, but it doesn't work so great for near stuff. And one of the things the doctor told me last week in my eye doctor appointment with where I got an exam was that he said, we're going to start to have to think about some solutions for your for things that are close, reading, things like that. And obviously, one of the main and most common ways to deal with that is to get a prescription that makes most of everything look great. But for that near stuff, for reading books, looking at your phone, things like that, probably going to need some reading glasses. And I immediately started to think of my dad and how many pairs of reading glasses he has. You see people wearing them all the time. And for some reason, this did not freak me out or make me sad. It kind of got me excited. I don't know. I pretty much immediately went to Walmart and bought my first 4 pairs of reading glasses. And I've got them in several places where I know I'm going to want them. I've got a pair next to my spot on the couch. I've got a pair in the kitchen. I've got one on my desk here at home next to my bed, but I'm clearly going to need some more. That's not enough. I'll need a pair in my car, in my truck, on my desk at work, and then probably several spares, maybe a pair that I just carry around me and hang off the front of my t-shirt. Maybe I'll be like my grandmother and put them on one of those chains that kind of goes around your neck so you just always have them, can't lose them. I don't know. So I don't know. It's kind of funny, but I don't mind this at all. I don't mind looking older. I don't mind looking like a grandpa. I've always liked the idea of getting older and all the things that come with it. Most of the things, like getting older and wiser and more experienced, balder, grayer. None of that bothers me at all. It's I don't know. It's kind of like when I was a kid, I used to get excited about the idea of getting injured so I could like wear a cast. I thought that would be the silver lining on something that, breaking an arm or something. I really did feel that way. I never really did anything intentionally to hurt myself, but I never really minded the idea of getting hurt. And that went all the way, that all went away pretty much the second I was hurt. And I don't really feel like that anymore. Like I definitely mind now the idea of getting hurt. The most dangerous thing I still do, and it is pretty dangerous, as I do go skiing. And when I go skiing, I like to go really, really fast. Now, I do wear a helmet, but I have clocked myself at over 60 miles an hour going down a ski slope. I try harder now to not out-ski my abilities. I want to stay in control. I want to be a better skier, not just a faster skier. And so the conditions have to be just right. I've got to feel like I've got good, strong, fresh legs. But I know that's a dangerous thing to do. I could still get seriously injured or worse, but the thrill of that is too good to not do it. And, unless I do a Sonny Bono or something, maybe I won't mind so much wearing a cast. I mean, I was in a motorcycle accident a few years back, and, it's a story I don't mind telling at all. To live through a motorcycle accident is kind of badass. I don't know. It's probably stupid to think that way. And again, I don't intentionally do anything to get hurt. I don't want that really. But, it's kind of like reading glasses. I don't mind the idea of it. I'm good with it. So maybe there's a parallel there. I don't know, but it feels like similar stuff. All right. Thing number 2. Facebook ads are so smart. The other day, I just mentioned I went to the eye doctor the other day. On Monday last week, I Googled my eye doctor because it's like there's a branch of that near my work. It's 2-minute drive from my work. So I thought I could shoot over there on lunch, get an eye exam, get a prescription, get some contacts ordered, stuff like that. My girlfriend Kiki uses my eye doctor where she gets glasses and contacts. So it was well recommended. Figured I'd go there. So I Googled it, called them, set up an appointment. And then about 2 minutes later, I got up from my desk. I went to the bathroom, number 2. So I knew I was going to be there a minute. So I brought my phone with me and I started scrolling through Facebook as I'm sitting there on the toilet. 2 minutes. And that's how fast Facebook was showing me ads for my eye doctor, the company that I just called. And 2 days later, I went to my eye doctor. I got an exam. I got a prescription. I ordered new contacts. I ordered new glasses. I spent almost $1,000 at my eye doctor, and it's like half a week later, and Facebook is still showing me ads to my eye doctor. That's the part that annoys me the most about Facebook ads is it's so smart and fast at showing you ads. Why isn't it every bit as smart at showing you ads or not showing you ads? It doesn't really need to anymore. It worked. It helped, right? It reminded me. I went to my eye doctor. I spent a shit ton of money. They should start advertising something else to me now. And I don't mind Facebook ads in general. I have bought things that I discovered from Facebook ads. It's fine. It really doesn't bother me that they have ads in my Facebook feed. What annoys me is that I see my eye doctor ads after I have done everything I needed to do at my eye doctor. Also, Spotify. There's like a Spotify ad every day in my Facebook feed. And if you listen to the last episode, you know, I have been a premium subscriber to Spotify since that was a thing. There's not much more I can do to give money to Spotify. And so they have zero reason to advertise to me. And it seems like Facebook should be able to know that I'm on Facebook or that I'm on Spotify and using Spotify all day long in my car, at work, at home, on Alexa, on Sonos, like everywhere you can use Spotify, I am. Why doesn't Facebook know that and stop advertising it to me? Show me something else. Show me something I don't know I need. Like some crazy, stupid product that I've seen that, right? Like just gadgety type stuff. You know, the stuff you would find at Sharper Image, things like that. That's the stuff I want to find out about that I would never find on my own. Show me the shit that I wouldn't think of. That would be fun, Facebook. There's a reason you have fewer users right now than you used to, because you're not smart. Thing number 3, Friday night, went to see Jackass Forever, the new Jackass movie. And if you are a fan of the ridiculous Jackass franchise, you will absolutely love it. And I highly recommend it. It was 2 hours of literally laughing out loud the entire time. It was hilarious, ridiculous. And I went there to see the movie with my daughter, Allison, and we sat down. Our seats at the Alamo Cinema Draft House, I walked in and I noticed that my seat was literally right next to my vape dealer. And when I say my vape dealer, it's just the guy that works at Gorilla Vapes who is normally there and selling me my vape fluid and coils and things like that, because, you know, I'm a bit of a vapor when I'm not being a bit of a smoker. There we go. Here's some vape for you. So I joked about to my daughter. I said, "Hey, we're going to sit next to my vape dealer if you're cool with that." And we chatted a little bit, waiting for the movie to start. The movie gets going, and my vape dealer on my right is a very loud laugher. Sort of a high-pitched type of laugh. Like almost a fake laugh, but not a fake laugh. Like it was absolutely for real. And at first it was a bit jarring because I was laughing too, but his laugh was way overpowering compared to my laugh. And my daughter noticed it, of course, and he laughed like that the entire movie. And it was so genuine. He was just in the movie, enjoying the hell out of it, just like I was. But his laugh almost made me feel insecure about my laugh. You know, was I laughing loud enough? Was I making it obvious to everyone around me that I found this just as funny as he did? And it made me laugh even more. The power of laughter, everybody. It was impressive. The movie was funny enough. I would have laughed the entire time without that guy, but I laughed harder because of him. And I thank him for being there. It was great. So just in case you're curious, the movie is, if you haven't seen a Jackass movie, I don't know if I would start with this one. There were no moments in this movie where I literally felt like I was going to gag and barf, which I have definitely felt that way in previous Jackass movies. This one was simply funny the entire time. A few gross moments. There was a lot of male nudity in this movie, so if you can't handle seeing lots and lots of penis and balls getting really seriously damaged. It was bad, but that's not the whole movie. There's plenty of other shit happening that's just ridiculous. Anyway, Jackass, the movie, Jackass Forever. Go see it with your friends that laugh way too loud and way too much. So there you go. 3 things. I'm going to do 3 more things. I'm going to tell you all about what it was like to work in a movie theater in Tyson's Corner Mall in McLean, Virginia in the 80s and 90s. We're going to do that right after the break. See you back here in a minute. Nothing I can say. Change your mind and stay. So I'll see you later today. And we're back. And I want to tell you about my time in the movies. That's right. Movie theaters, even today, advertise jobs at movie theaters. You know, ushers, concession stand, ticket sellers, all of those people. They advertise these jobs as a job, quote unquote, in the movies, which is ridiculous. I mean, technically, you're in the place where movies play, but you're not in the movies. You are a cog in the wheel of the world of people seeing movies, but if you weren't there and movie theaters didn't need people to work and run them, people would still go and it would still be fine. So they're not really vital. But I guess I say that, but I mean, I wouldn't want to go to a movie unless I could have the popcorn the way I want it. And I do need a human over there to get me the popcorn, to put enough butter on it, to layer it up, and all that. So, I mean, we do need these people. So, okay, fine. They're in the movies. Fine. You got me. So I guess I had a job in the movies. It was my second real job ever. I told you a couple weeks ago about my first job that was not working for my dad painting houses. I'll talk about that in another episode. This was my second real job. And it was at a movie theater in Tyson's Corner Mall in McLean, Virginia. So Tyson's Corner Mall is like the big mall in the DC area. There's actually Tyson's, and then there's Tyson's Galleria. There's Tyson's 2, whatever they call it now. It's huge. And it actually had 2 movie theaters back in the day. One of them was kind of on the outer edge of the mall. You could see the movie theater from the parking lot, right? So it had a bigger presence. There was like 8 screens. It was the bigger deal movie theater. The theater I worked at was inside the mall. The only way to get to it as a customer was to be in the mall, like deep in the mall. And you walked in, you bought your tickets, you went down these stairs to get to like one level, and then you got to ride down an escalator where you're looking at the concession stand, and it was kind of awesome. Like, they don't design movie theaters like this anymore. It was deep in the mall, and it was awesome. Like, they had video games. The escalator ride down was kind of neat, and actually, I had been there many times to see movies, and then my mom, once my sister and I were old enough, my mom started working a little bit outside of the house, and she actually got a job at this movie theater first, before she went to work at a rec center to put her degree to work in what she actually wanted to do, which was parks and recreation type stuff. But before that, she worked at this movie theater, and that meant my family got to go to see movies for free. It was a perk of having a family member work at the movie theater. And she stopped there, and within several months, I was ready to switch from working at the bike shop to working at the movie theater. I just thought it sounded awesome. So I went and got a job at the same movie theater. Actually, the manager of the movie theater lived down the street from us. So I had an in. He was our neighbor. My mom worked there. It was easy to get the job, and it was fantastic. So that's the movie theater I worked at. And just to set the time period here, the movies that were big when I worked there, movies like Home Alone and Ghost, which means I've seen Home Alone and Ghost way too many times, more so than just about any other movie. So that's about when I was actually working at this movie theater. It was the original Home Alone when that came out. There you go. All right, thing number one about this movie theater. Man, it was a fun place to work. It was the kind of movie theater where you could picture them doing like a movie about the people that work at a movie theater. You know, kind of like Waiting is a movie about people that work in a restaurant that's like Bennigan's or, you know, Outback. It's that kind of restaurant, right? And the fun that they have, the teamwork, the camaraderie, the jokes, the pranks, the disgusting stuff, you know, all the hijinks that happen at a restaurant like in Waiting. I could see that kind of a thing happening with this movie theater. The people I worked with there were fun to work with. We would laugh and joke, make fun of the customers after they were away and in their movie. And between, you know, there was like, we would have like a busy, you know, like a rush hour, right? So all 4 movie theater houses in this movie theater, all the movies would start within a few minutes of each other. So we would have this huge rush of customers, everybody coming down, going and getting their popcorn and going in. And then once they were in the movie theater, you didn't see customers unless they had to come out and go to the bathroom or come out and get more popcorn or something. So we just had all this downtime. All we had to do during the downtime was replenish the popcorn, replenish the candy, make sure all the soda fountains had all their, you know, the CO2 and the syrup so that the fountains would work. And, you know, once all that was done, ice fights, hide and seek, running around, going outside and smoking cigarettes, and going into the theaters and just standing in the back and watching Ghost and Home Alone over and over and over again. It was pretty great. One of the coolest things about this was that they made it very clear, they tell you in the interview and the hiring process, you can come and see movies here for free at any time. You can bring your friends. Your friends can even come see movies like while you're working for free. You can even give your friends free popcorn and free soda as long as they bring their own bag and their own cup. That's how things are tracked at movie theaters, is by the bags and the cups, not by the kernels of popcorn. So if my friends wanted to see a movie and I was working, they could show up, bring a bag, like a grocery bag, a brown paper bag, whatever. I could fill it with popcorn and butter. I could give them a soda if they brought their own cup, and they could go watch the movie. This was an okay, allowed thing to do. We all did it, and it was fantastic. It wasn't like a hush-hush under the table policy. It was overt. It was a perk. I took full advantage of it when I wasn't working. Me and my friends would go see movies there whenever we wanted to, and I would let them come see movies whenever I was working. And it was awesome. Just loved it. So, yeah, it was just a fun vibe. The people that worked there, the bosses, they were super lax, and it was just kind of chill. And, yeah, it's great. Thing number 2. All good things must come to an end, and it did for that movie theater. While I was working there, it was in the process of being replaced by a new movie theater across the street from Tyson's Corner Mall, across Route 7. It was over in this new shopping center building where there were some restaurants and stuff like that, and in the basement of that building was the new theater owned by the same company. And I do not have any recollection of which major movie theater company it was. Was it Regal? Was it AMC? Was it something else? I have no idea what it was. But they were opening a new, beautiful, state-of-the-art 8-auditorium movie theater across the street, and the place I was working at was closing. And when the new place was ready to open, they finally did shut down the old place. It was kind of a bummer. They sent in a guy from corporate to sort of manage the transition of the old theater to the new. He became the new person in charge at the movie theater. His name was Richard Working. I remember that name, and so will you by the end of this story. But he was the guy in charge of mainly opening the new place, managing the old place, closing it down, and managing what to do with the old movie theater. When the old theater closed, fully closed, my friends and I helped clean out the old place. We had a ton of people working like in an assembly line to get all of the old seats out of each movie house and up the back stairs, up to street level and into like a large moving truck. We were helping to clean out the old place, and that was a big job, all those movie theater seats. And then Mr. Working was driving the truck. He drove us all the way down to like somewhere downtown DC to unload the seats into like the storage room of another movie theater owned by the same company. There was a promise of some pay for me and my friends for doing this work, and I did get paid. I got my hourly wage because I was an employee of the movie theater. I would be working at the new one soon, but I helped close the old one, so I got paid, and I was making like just above minimum wage. But my friends who helped weren't employees of the movie theater, and the promise was some like pretty abstract promise of some cash, maybe some food, things like that. When we finished unloading everything, we got some fast food, something cheap. It wasn't like, let's go out to dinner and go get some pizza, let's go hang out. It wasn't like that at all. It was like, here's $5, there's a McDonald's, that kind of thing. So no cash changed hands whatsoever. No checks were written. Mr. Working did zero, really, to reimburse my friends for their assistance in a big job. Nothing. So Mr. Working was immediately on their shit list, like for sure. And this might be what inspired me and my friends, who shall remain nameless, we actually broke into the old theater. Once it was closed, no longer open to the public, all the seats were out. There was still some stuff in there, and we thought, let's go check it out. Because as an employee, I knew how to get in to the old theater because it was actually extremely easy. Up at street level in the back stairs, you could just walk up to these, just big blank metal doors with handles on the outside. And if you just yanked hard enough, they would open. So we were able to get into the old movie theater when no one was in there late at night. And there was no alarms, no nothing like that. And we went around just looking for stuff. I mean, it was kind of trashed out at that point. We did take a few things. The only thing I can remember we took was this old-fashioned fire extinguisher. It wasn't like the red fire extinguisher with powder in it. It was like a metal fire extinguisher with like a nozzle on it, like a bike tire nozzle, where you pumped it up with air after you had filled it with water. And so that the pressure in there would propel water out of the fire extinguisher. I never could get it to work, but I thought it was cool looking, and I had it in my room, and I think I have finally done away with it. I don't know where it is now, but it was just this cool thing that I got from there. I did also steal a sign that was on the wall on the stairs as you go down to the movie theater. I still have this sign to this day. I'm going to put a picture of it up on my Facebook when this episode comes out. And it says, it's a big red sign with yellow letters. It said, "Stop. No one allowed beyond this point without a ticket." And I just think that's a cool sign. I stole it, and I have it. You cannot walk into my basement at my house today without seeing that sign. So picture coming your way. Check out the Facebook to see the picture of that sign. Gosh, I really hope the statute of limitations is passed on all of that. It was, petty theft, but hopefully I'm off the hook for that stuff. So there you go. Thing number 3, the new place, the new movie theater. I began working there once the old place was completely over and done with. And the new place, well, it looks so nice. Huge lobby, 2 big concession stands down the left and the right, 8 auditoriums, better sound, better picture, up-to-date technology for the time. This was like 1990, all right? But it was a way nicer movie theater than the old place. But what it lacked was any kind of character or fun. It was like Mr. Richard Working had removed all fun from the movie theater. no more ice fights, lots of separation between employees with a much larger concession stands. There was no real downtime with all the staggered show times at all the 8 auditoriums. The uniforms now sucked, like they were purple and stuff, because the old uniforms at the old place were just a simple, for the guys anyway, a simple white shirt, black pants. But now we had to like wear purple sport coats. And so it already just kind of sucked, but it was still a job. And I just wanted, I'm thinking back to some of the dumbest things that happened at these theaters. One of the things, you may have done this yourself. I've done this for sure. I've had people walk up to me at the concession stand, order their popcorn, order their drink. I hand them their drink, and they're standing there. Maybe they've paid, maybe they haven't, but they're standing there waiting for the transaction to be done, for me to get them all their stuff. And, they'll rest their arm right there on like the straw dispenser while they're standing there waiting. And then they'll look at me and say, hey, where are the straws? Literally, with their hand on the straw dispenser, they will look and say, hey, where are the straws? This happened daily, multiple times a day. Every single shift where I worked at the concession stand, somebody would ask where the straws are when they were literally right in front of them. This happened at the old place, happened at the new place. I imagine it's still happening at movie theaters today. And every time I'm looking for straws, that occurs to me. And so I make sure I have really scanned the area before I ask anybody where the straws are, because I know. On my last night at this job, my friend Chris came to see a movie. Chris has been on this show. He now lives in Pennsylvania with his wife and 3 kids and chickens and other animals and stuff. He's a fun guy. Has been my friend since the 9th grade. And he came into the new place, and we knew that the rule was that he was not going to get a free ticket to a movie anymore. Like, that was not going to happen. So he paid for his ticket. And as friends could, no longer get free tickets, he came over to me at the concession stand. He did bring his own bag and his own cup, and I filled him up with popcorn and butter and soda, just like I always had done, and I sent him on his way to his show. Now, nobody, Mr. Working or nobody else, nobody told me that that was not allowed anymore. And immediately after I gave Chris his soda and his popcorn, Mr. Working walked over to me and asked me, hey, how much did you charge him for that soda and that popcorn? And I had no reason to lie or hide or make anything up. I just told him I didn't charge him anything. We've always been allowed to give away free popcorn and soda to our friends if they bring their own bag and cup. I didn't hide it in any way. I didn't know it was against the rules because it had always not been against the rules. I was not exactly surprised to find out that it was no longer allowed, but I had not been informed of this change. So I thought maybe one time I'll get a warning and I won't be allowed to do that anymore. I'll have to tell my friends, don't bother bringing your own bag and cup. It's not happening. Mr. Working didn't see it that way. He had zero tolerance for this whatsoever. When I told him I hadn't charged him anything because we never had to do that before, he said, he just simply said, turn your jacket in at the office and leave, and do not come back. You are fired. That was pretty much how he put it, and that was the end of my job at that movie theater. No warning, no forgiveness, no understanding for my predicament that it had been allowed previously and that I had not adjusted to the new policy. He did not care at all. He was not like that. So I turned in my jacket. I went back into the movie theater. I walked into the theater where Chris was. I said, hey, man, just want to let you know I'm not going to be here when you come out. You don't have to leave, but I just got fired for giving you that drink and that popcorn. So he was not okay with this. I told him what happened. He felt horrible. He left the movie still carrying his bag of popcorn and his soda. And he was more angry about it than I was, actually. He was incensed that he might be the reason I got fired. And when he saw Richard Working in the middle of the lobby, standing with some of the other managers, Chris said, hey, let's go over and talk to Mr. Working. Chris went over to the guy, told him that he really was a dick. And then he dumped the popcorn out on the floor, and we left. And that was that. On our way home, we had to walk and get a bus and all of that to get home before we had cars. He was just getting more angry and more angry the more he thought about it. He had a job at Errol's at the time, so he was also in the movie business, if you know what I mean. And he got me another job within the week. So Chris worked at Errol's. I worked at the same Errol's as him for a little bit, and then I got a job at an Errol's even closer to my house. Errol's was, in the D.C. area, the place to go to rent VHS video movies. Like that was they were Blockbuster in D.C. before there was a Blockbuster. Huge video rental chain all over the D.C. metro area. And so yeah, I was still in the movies, but somehow this job was even worse. It paid even less, and you had less freedom. You couldn't just bring the movies home to watch them unless they were old enough. Like if there was a new release, you were not allowed to take that movie home. And the people that worked there, not cool at all. And I didn't get fired from that job, but I did not enjoy it, and I wasn't there very long. So there you go. Those are my two jobs in the movies. I have worked in the movies, in the movie business. I have been responsible for people enjoying a cinematic experience. So there you go. Those are my 3 things about working in a movie theater. As promised at the beginning of the show, we are now going to close the show out with a brand new recording done today, Sunday, February 6th at band practice for To Be Fair. This song is called Are There Saints in Hell? Now, if you've been a fan of our music at all, and if you've listened to our stuff on Spotify or anywhere else, you might recognize this song. In fact, we have a previously released version of this song. You can listen to it right now on any music streaming platform you want to go check it out. It's called Are There Saints in Hell? It sounds like this. Just a couple seconds of the current, produced version of this song, just to give you a feel for what it's like. Here you go.
Are there saints in hell? Searching for the shred of glory from a place that we knew so well, pushing hate to make us holy. Are there saints in hell?
So, very acoustic, right? There's some washboard in there, acoustic guitar. It's kind of sad. It's kind of depressing, right? And we wanted to electrify it a little bit and change the vibe a little bit, just because the lyrics are reflective of a society in which this was written a few years ago, and during our previous president's term. It maybe even pointed at him a little bit. We decided we just didn't want to play it that way anymore, and so we've jazzed it up, we've funked it up a little bit. Little Red Hot Chili Peppers inspiration, a little just grooviness that did not exist in the last one. And of course, electric guitar, bass, Brian on bass, the full drum set instead of a cajon and a washboard, and no backup singers this time, just all 3 of us yelling, "Are there saints in hell?" And here you go. Here's our version recorded at band practice in its entirety. This is the end of the show. Listen to the song. Please go review this podcast. Give it 5 stars. Tell your friends about it. Please help me get some more listeners to this, because I think this is fun stuff, and I think your friends will enjoy it. Alrighty. All right, here we go. Are there saints in hell? You tell me.